When the scissors came into contact with the high-altitude job, Donald Duck was about to be in big trouble.
Although he narrowly escaped several deadly attacks, the support below him suddenly went wrong. A flea appeared and made the dog unbearably itchy.
It got so bad that he had to bite himself, but in the next second this caused Donald Duck to suddenly plummet. Just when it looked like he was done for, the rope suddenly wrapped around a nearby street sign.
Although this forcefully stopped his fall, the momentum still sent Donald Duck flying outward.
So, for safety reasons, Donald Duck gave up the suspended basket and decided to stand on the balcony to clean the windows instead.
He thought things would finally be safe now.
But just as he finished cleaning and was about to go get water, the dog suddenly fell asleep again. Seeing this, Donald Duck immediately started yelling at him in anger, but it was completely useless. Even when Donald Duck hooked his collar and shook him back and forth, there was no sign of waking him up. Seeing this, Donald Duck shouted loudly into the pipe, hoping the sound would wake him up through resonance. Instead, the dog just lay on the ground and slept even more deeply. This completely infuriated Donald Duck. He then gathered all his strength and used a lion's roar technique. He tried to use brute force to teach him a lesson. Unexpectedly, the dog suddenly stuck out a smelly foot and blocked it. Donald Duck, who had no time to react, was instantly hit, and the attack nearly knocked him unconscious. Out of rage, he threw a brush down. Unexpectedly, this accident actually woke the dog up. But the dog, annoyed at being disturbed from his sleep, casually blew a breath and sent the hook flying into a bucket of screws. Donald Duck, completely unaware of this, picked it up without looking and splashed it onto the glass. The next second, the glass shattered into pieces. Donald Duck was extremely embarrassed and quickly pulled the curtains, pretending nothing had happened. He thought everything would be fine once the glass was replaced. But then he messed up again. He squeezed the water onto a flower where a bee was collecting nectar. The bee was furious and immediately attacked back. Seeing the danger, Donald Duck used a metal bucket as a shield. To his surprise, it worked extremely well. The bees couldn't get through at all. Realizing this wouldn't work, the bee began circling to find an opening. Soon, Donald Duck, exhausted from the struggle, revealed a gap. A bee slipped into the bucket and attacked him repeatedly. Enraged, Donald Duck tried to swing the bucket back at it. But in his chaotic, he didn't hit the bee at all and instead hit himself. In the end, he lost his footing and fell. Luckily, he landed right on his own platform. But the danger wasn't over yet. The bee used a distraction tactic and tricked Donald Duck into tying himself up. Seeing the moment was right, the bee prepared to launch a final attack. Just then, Donald Duck blew a strong gust of air. The airflow weakened the bee, while Donald Duck was also close to running out of breath. It seemed like a draw, but the bee was incredibly stubborn. With its last bit of strength, it launched a final strike for revenge. The attack was so powerful that Donald Duck ran into a pipe and shouted for help, but the dog was still sound asleep. In the end, annoyed by the noise, the dog pressed his paw against Donald Duck, forcing him to smell that same stinky foot again.